April 28th. Thank you for joining me. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. I was in the car with my dad this morning when the news came on. One item on the news was WHO's statement concerning bird flu found in cows. My dad pointed out that bird flu in cows is kind of funny. Not giving it much thought, I replied that's because when we name something, we think we've discovered its true nature and are promptly proven otherwise. It's true. We might not think about it much anymore today, but name-giving ceremonies are still a widespread thing, and in their nature, they are still spiritual. Once in a relationship with any nature, we will give people nicknames, openly or just in our heads. Names are labels and have meaning. And we run into problems when the name doesn't fit in the end, because it didn't capture the true nature of a person, pet or thing. Still, everything starts with a name given by us. It's what we do as infant and toddler when we first generate a model of the world. We are inundated with information, colors, sounds, temperatures, tastes, etc., but also communication from our cells and the bacteria that are settling inside us. From this overabundance, we select what we need to survive from moment to moment. And from the selection, we make bundles of information, erect a border around these bundles, and give them a name of sorts like mama, or car, or duck, or ball, until the moment comes and we draw a line around a bundle of information and call it self. What we do is discover meaning in chaos. True nature is, if you want to call it that, even though it's a highly personal thing. We make the bundles and draw the lines around them, and it depends on our needs, our specific goals, and our specific environment in this specific moment, what these bundles are. And I think that was the origin of the story of Adam, naming the animals in the Garden Eden, that has become a part of the Judeo-Christian story world. It's a bit weird to begin with, right? We learn that God created the world, but then it is not God who identifies the animals by name, nor is it the angels, the other gods of earlier times, who are involved. It's Adam, and the name Adam means nothing else but human. It makes sense once you want to teach your kids that while there's something out there that existed before them and will exist after them, it's up to them to make sense of it, depending on their needs, and explore it. And it must have been a very widespread and important part of oral tradition, not only because of its content. It conveyed, after all, the ideas about the nature of the world and humans, ideas now proven with our science, but because it made it into the collection of stories that became the Torah and later the Bible, and because people later on saw a need to introduce Pythagorean thoughts into this particular story and thus give it a different meaning, basically opposite to what it had been. That's what defense lawyers do today to create doubt in jurors about the story the prosecution has woven. Here, the defense turned the original story about a self-generated world in need of personal exploration to solve one's problems and reach one's goals into a story of numbers and standardization, because the whole universe is based on numbers according to Pythagoras. The fact that Adam names the animals isn't broached as an issue at all. The issue is the fact that all of the species are discrete, separate from each other, as is Adam. He too is a separate entity, separate from everyone else, and in charge. This is all based on the idea that you can number and categorize everything. An idea that supports the claim of Uber explorers, at that time royalty, that they are a category of their own, distinct and separate from Uber exploiters and in charge. And that's the way the world was created, according to them, by an outside entity. No one is able to change it, and everyone has their own tasks. For one group it is to solely explore, and for the other it is to serve those who explore by limiting themselves to exploitation of knowledge, manual labor. This interpretation is scientifically wrong, and yet we still are caught in the web woven thanks to the fact that those with sovereignty over information spread these fake news. Explore. Ask yourself what you don't notice in the stream of information available to you, but that could be helpful to you to reach a specific goal in a specific environment in a specific moment. Ask yourself in the third person, or ask your dog, or ask at God, to create a dialogue in your head and keep the window of consciousness open. Also known as thinking. Make a habit out of thinking. Let's turn thinking into a movement. Like, comment, share, and follow lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. And just like that, coffee break is over. See you next time by the coffee pot.